Today we want to talk about our full wind-up mechanics. And we're going to talk about the first two phases of our full wind-up. Where to stand on the rubber, and then our step and pivot. First of all, let's talk about our grip. We're just going to start with a four-seam grip. We want to make sure that we have our hand on top of the baseball in the glove. Okay? So I want my hand on top of the baseball in the glove. A lot of times we're starting to see youth players put their hand underneath the baseball. We don't want that because it's going to create some problems as we start to break our hands out of the glove and get into our throwing position. So we want to make sure that the hand is on top of the glove. We want to make our glove fingers pointed towards the sky. So our glove is up, fingers are pointed towards the sky. We don't want it down to the side, angled towards our third base coach. We want to keep everything up in front of us, fingers pointed towards the sky, hand on top of the baseball. People always ask, where do you want to stand on the rubber? I think as you get older, the dominant rule is that right-handers will stand on the right-hand side of the rubber, left-handers will stand on the left-hand side of the rubber. Things will change as they advance to college and professional levels with regards to that. However, I think it's important for kids 8 to 10 years old to stay just in the middle of the rubber. As you get to 11 and 12, well then we can start moving in to one side or the other based upon whether they are right-hander or left-hander. But let's maximize the strike zone. Let's stay in the middle at an early age before we start to shift kids to the right or the left. So today we'll just start right in the middle of the rubber. Fingers are pointed towards the sky. My hand is on top of the baseball in a four-seam grip. Our initial step is we want to take our step parallel to the rubber. I want to take a nice short step to the side. It used to be years ago, especially when I was a lot younger, used to tell us to take a step back. And all that's kind of changed now. We really don't want to go away from our target in anything we do. So we don't want to go behind the rubber. I like for young kids to take a short step to the side because it allows them to get into their balance position a lot easier. As we take this short step, we want to make sure we keep our hands and head quiet. Okay, we want to take a short step, but we want our hands and our head to stay in the same position. We don't want to start to move the plate by taking a large step and moving our head and our hands. We've now shifted the angle of the plate, and it makes it much more difficult for a youth player or any pitcher to throw strikes there. So we take a nice short step to the side, and my hands and head stay quiet. At this point, I want to take my pivot foot, and I want to turn it so that it's parallel to the rubber and just in front. I want the outside of my pivot foot here right against the front part of the rubber, all right, in the little hole that's there. We don't want to pivot on top of the rubber because it creates problems in our balance. A lot of times they get slippery with cleats, okay? So we never want to see youth kids pivoting on top of the rubber. We always want to pivot, okay, right in front of the rubber. And we want to make sure the whole back of the foot is against the rubber. Sometimes you'll see kids don't get completely pivoted, and now my foot is angled, now I've changed the angle of the positioning of my body, all right, whether it's their toe, or sometimes it's the heel, and now their angle is going this way. So we want to make sure that we're completely parallel with the rubber, and right against the front part of the rubber. Again, my hands and head don't move. So we start again. Younger kids in the middle of the rubber, all right, I'm half on, half off, heels on, my heels are on the rubber. The front part of my foot is in front of the rubber. I want my glove pointed towards the sky, fingers on top of the ball. Okay, and now I take my initial step to the side, parallel to the rubber. Nice and short, hands and heads quiet. And now when I pivot, I'm going to pivot my foot completely parallel to the front of the rubber.